Boutique price $23,000, but Guangzhou price $600.
In today's show about luxury bags carefully handcrafted in China. Turns out your quote-unquote made in Italy luxury handbag might have more ties to Chinese factories than to Tuscany. Thanks to viral TikToks from Chinese factory workers, the internet is now in a frenzy.
We've all seen it, the Birkin bag, sitting pretty on the arms of the ultra-rich like it's some kind of holy grail. Celebs, billionaires, and the mega elite treat it like a golden ticket to high society. It's not just a purse, it's a full-on status statement. And if you're lucky enough to even be offered one, expect to cough up around $40,000. Forgy and Mays painted us a picture of perfection, bags crafted by elite artisans under the golden sun somewhere deep in the heart of France. They sold us this fantasy of meticulous handiwork, every stitch dripping in prestige. But what if that dream was all smoke and mirrors? Brace yourself, because the truth just exploded online like a straight-up scandal bomb.
Boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermès only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Nuti from Italy. The second is Weinheim from Germany, and the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? And next, the thread. And of course, for Hermès Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil à Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat seal edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD. And then the cost of human resource. The French artisans is much more expensive than Chinese artisans. To finish one bag, the human resource cost will be 600 USD. The package, this is not that expensive, it's 10 USD. So now to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory.
A viral video just dropped the mic on everything we thought we knew. Turns out that Birkin bag, the so-called crown jewel of fashion, might not be what it claims to be. Word is, these bags aren't exactly being stitched together by candlelight in some Parisian workshop. Nope. The real story is way less glamorous. Sources now claim most of the production actually goes down far from those dreamy cobblestone streets in France. So all that talk about luxury, exclusivity, and heritage might have just been one big marketing trick. Turns out, it's all going down in China. That French craftsmanship vibe we were sold, it might be nothing more than a slick illusion. These bags, supposedly handcrafted with love in Paris, are actually being put together in Chinese factories for a fraction of the price. Then they're shipped off to Europe, slapped with a luxury tag, and boom, they hit the shelves with those insane 5-figure price tags. This expose has rocked the luxury fashion world like an earthquake. People are stunned, wondering, if these bags are being made in China, why on earth are we paying tens of thousands for them? And the bigger question, why did Mays keep this under wraps for so long? Hate to be the one to spill the tea, but we gotta talk about it. The viral video that lit the fuse came straight from someone deep inside, a Chinese manufacturer who finally snapped. He was tired of the cover-ups, the fake narratives, and decided to lay it all out. He says the materials that Mays brags about, the buttery leather, the luxury thread, the hardware, not even rare or exclusive like they claim. According to him, this stuff is pulled in from different corners of the world and then assembled in China for way less than what the bags sell for. Let's get into it, starting with the so-called premium leather they brag about on every ad and red carpet. Irma has always bragged about using only the finest leather straight from elite suppliers in Italy, France, and Germany. We're talking big names like MTI from Italy, Weinheimer from Germany, and a mystery French supplier known for their top-tier hides. Supposedly, each piece of leather runs about $450. Sounds fancy, right? But here's where it gets wild. The leather may be legit, but the way it's being used, not exactly what we were sold. Those Chinese manufacturers spilling the secrets say the luxury leather is coming from those same premium suppliers, but the real action is happening in China. They claim the leather gets shipped over and the bags are reassembled there, not in some dreamy Parisian atelier. And it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about the thread. Maze flexes hard about using this top-shelf French thread called fil au chinois lin cable, aka fila alua. It's supposed to be ultra durable, silky, and oh so luxurious. They say it costs $25 per bag. Sounds impressive, but again, being stitched up in China takes some of the magic out of it, don't you think? Now the hardware, yep, that's premium too. They use 316 stainless steel, which they hype up as ocean grade. That means it's built to survive rust, salt, corrosion, the whole 9 yards. So no one's saying the materials are fake. But the big twist is that all this French luxury is getting pieced together somewhere completely different than we thought. But here's the real shocker. All those fancy materials, they're reportedly being put together in Chinese factories, not in France like Hermès wants you to think. The Chinese manufacturer in the viral video straight up claimed that while Hermès pushes the Birkin as a symbol of French craftsmanship, most of the work is happening way far from Paris. These bags, the same ones selling for nearly $40,000 a pop, are allegedly being assembled for just a tiny fraction of that cost. We're talking massive markups for something that's not even finished in Europe. Now, the drama, it's everywhere. Social media is on fire with people sounding off left and right. The backlash is real. Comment sections are packed with fans feeling totally misled. Folks are straight up saying they feel scammed. And let's be real, if these bags are mostly made in China, how do they justify that insane price tag? Tens of thousands of dollars for something that might have rolled off a line in a factory halfway across the globe from where they claim it's made? The internet isn't having it. Makes you stop and think, are we really paying for quality or is it all just smoke and mirrors? That's the million-dollar question. And now things are getting even wilder. Some folks are furious, straight up accusing Hermès of lying to the world. Meanwhile, others are calling the whole thing fake news, claiming the Chinese manufacturer is just making it all up. But there's another angle too. Some people say this ain't even about the bag anymore, it's about the name. And that's where it gets real murky. If you can get a bag made with the same leather, same thread, same steel, all for a fraction of the price in China, then what exactly are you paying for? A vibe? A logo? It's starting to feel like people aren't buying a bag. They're buying the illusion of prestige. The luxury isn't in the leather, it's in the story. That fantasy of exclusivity that comes with flashing a Birkin. And it's not just everyday folks talking. Fashion experts and industry insiders started weighing in too. Some jumped to Hermès' defense, saying, even if assembly is happening in China, the brand still holds strong on quality and elite standards. But then others weren't having it. They were like, hold up. If the image is fake, does the label even mean anything anymore? Looks like the luxury world's due for a serious reality check. People are starting to call out big brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton for pushing this polished image of elite handcrafted bags, while behind the scenes, a ton of that work is actually happening in places where labor is way cheaper. Something about that just doesn't sit right, does it? And guess what? The tea gets even hotter. Hermès isn't the only one caught up in this mess. Big names like Gucci, Prada, and even Louis Vuitton are now being called out too. Turns out a whole lot of their products are also being made in China, and not many of them are being honest about it. Here's the real shocker. According to one insider, over 80% of luxury goods are actually made in China. Let that sink in. That whole made in France or made in Italy flex might just be a shiny sticker slapped on top of a global assembly line. And yet these brands stay quiet about it. They're not lining up to tell customers where things are really made. Some point to a base in Hong Kong, like that makes it better. But honestly, it's flipping the whole idea of luxury on its head. What used to be a symbol of class and craft is now starting to feel like one big marketing illusion. Now, don't get it twisted. No one's saying these bags are trash or falling apart. They're still solid, well made pieces. But what's wild is how these luxury brands built their entire identity on this image of elite craftsmanship, heritage, and exclusivity, only for us to find out that a lot of it might be stitched together in far off factories they barely mention. So, what does that mean for the whole brand? That's not a small thing. It hits at the core of what they're selling. And yeah, it's a huge deal. People are waking up. They're not blindly buying into the hype anymore. They're asking real questions, and some want their money back. Imagine spending thousands thinking you're getting something handmade in Paris, only to find out it might have been put together in a regular factory like any other mass produced product. That's not just a minor detail, it changes everything. Now, people are wondering, are they paying for genuine craftsmanship or just a fancy label and slick marketing? Is that jaw-dropping price tag going into skilled hands or just into branding budgets? The confusion is real, and folks feel played. When you drop that kind of cash, you expect transparency, but now it's all starting to feel like a luxury illusion dressed up in a high-end logo. And that's the real kicker. Luxury giants like Hermès are finally getting called out. This isn't some minor slip up or one off story. This feels way bigger. We're looking at a full on shift shaking the entire industry. People are waking up fast. They're no longer blindly worshiping the word luxury. In 2025, that word just doesn't carry the same weight it used to. Folks aren't falling for the fancy labels and sky high price tags anymore. They want receipts, they want proof, and when they don't get it, oh, they make noise. Social media is blowing up. Comment sections are packed with outrage, hashtags are trending, and guess what? Hermès has gone dead silent. No statement, no apology, not even a recycled PR message. Just radio silence. Like they're hoping the storm will pass if they lay low long enough. Meanwhile, a few other brands have stepped in to try and squash the rumors. NBC News even reported that some of these companies are flat out denying everything. But that's not calming anyone down. The internet wants answers, not corporate dodging. This isn't just about one brand anymore. It's about an entire industry trying to hold on to its image while the truth leaks out one post at a time. Hermès still has a statement up on its website holding on to the official story, but at the same time, some other brands like Louis Vuitton are taking a different approach. They're being way more transparent about where and how their products are made. They're not hiding behind mystery. They're showing receipts. It's also worth flagging that a few of the viral TikToks that kicked off this storm have been fact-checked and called out for being a bit misleading. But even with that, the conversation isn't slowing down. It's just getting more layered. Conrad Quilty Harper, author of Dark Luxury, broke it down in an interview with The Independent. He said people are confusing shady knockoff factories with legit ones in China. And the wild part? These real factories know exactly how to work the social media game. They know how to push just the right buttons to make people in the West want what they're selling, even if it's not coming from Paris. France 24 backed up that view too, saying it's not all black and white. But whether every claim is true or not, one thing's for sure, people are starting to look at these luxury labels very differently now. And the silence from Hermès, it's loud. In a time when staying quiet looks a lot like guilt, people are left guessing. What are they hiding? What's the real story? One thing's clear. This whole situation has people rethinking everything they thought they knew about luxury. With all these viral videos flooding the internet, it's not wild to think Hermès might hit the brakes on some Birkin models, especially if those whispers about where the bags are really being made turn out to be legit. It could be a major move to protect their image before things spiral even harder. This kind of brand damage, it sticks. And if that shutdown does happen, things could get even messier for the folks who already dropped major cash on deposits or joined those legendary wait lists. We're talking possible huge delays. It's not the first time shady business has crept up around these bags either. There have been lawsuits and reports in the past that pull back the curtain on how things go down behind the scenes. One case out of California even claimed that Hermès pressured customers into buying other products like scarves and jewelry just to maybe get offered a Birkin. Imagine that, dropping thousands just for a chance at spending more thousands. And then there's the wait list madness. People have been stuck waiting for months, even years, and still walk away empty-handed. No guarantee, no refund, just pure hope. So if the truth about these Birkin bags' origins actually drops and confirms the rumors, Hermès might have no choice but to pause production, regroup, and figure out how to clean up this mess before it gets even worse. That could leave tons of customers hanging, waiting even longer for their bags if they even decide to stick around. And let's be real for a second. It won't be long before folks start demanding refunds or threatening to lawyer up, especially in countries where product origin laws are no joke. If you're selling something as made in France and it's not, that's false advertising, plain and simple. And when you're dealing with bags worth tens of thousands, that's not just bad press, that's straight up fraud. With millions on the line, Hermès could be staring down a massive legal mess that nobody saw coming. But wait, don't sleep on the resale market. That space is going crazy right now. Some resellers are panicking, trying to dump their Birkins before the value crashes. Others are holding on for dear life, hoping the drama fades and prices bounce back. Here's the real curveball, though. Authentication platforms are now caught in the chaos, too. If a Birkin was assembled in China but stamped as French, what are they even verifying anymore? The leather, the stamp, the story? It's like the foundation of the whole luxury resale game is suddenly shaking. If no one can say for sure where a bag really came from, what happens to trust in the entire secondhand scene? And collectors? They're watching closely because one wrong move could flip the whole market upside down. Yep, people are feeling straight up duped. And while Hermès scrambles, their competitors are just sitting back and watching the whole mess unfold. Some are probably smirking behind the scenes thinking, glad it's not us, while others are sweating it out. Because if a powerhouse like Hermès can get exposed like this, who's next in line? How long before another exclusive French fashion house gets dragged for outsourcing while charging sky-high prices? And let's be real, this all could have gone down so differently. If Hermès had just come clean from the jump and said, yeah, we source globally and use international factories, but we've got strict quality control, people might have respected that. The backlash wouldn't have hit nearly this hard. But instead, they doubled down on the fantasy, that handcrafted in Paris fairy tale, the dream of elite French artisans and candlelit workshops. And now? That mask is slipping off fast. There's no saving the illusion. So what now? Trust is broken. And in the luxury game, trust is everything. Once that's gone, the whole empire starts shaking. Customers are rethinking their loyalty. Influencers who once flexed their Birkins are now blasting them. TikToks with titles like "I spent $30,000 on a lie" are racking up views like wildfire. The image they spent decades building, it's crashing down in real time, and the world is watching every second of it. This isn't just backlash anymore, it's a full-on reckoning. In Hermès, they're standing at a serious crossroads right now. Either they face the music, come clean, rebuild trust, and redefine what modern luxury really means, or they keep clinging to that old school image and risk slipping into irrelevance. Because in today's world, luxury ain't just about the product anymore. It's about the story. And right now, that story is looking real messy. What's even crazier is the timing. These exposés and rumors started gaining major traction right after President Trump announced a 90-day pause on some global tariffs, while also slapping a 145% tax hike on Chinese imports. Coincidence? Maybe, but some people think otherwise. On TikTok, users are going all in. A huge chunk are convinced that the claims are 100% real. But there's also some serious speculation floating around. Some believe the Chinese government might be playing with the algorithm, pushing these stories even harder as a clapback against those new tariffs. So now we've got fashion scandal, global politics, and internet conspiracy all tangled up in the same drama. The line between what's true and what's strategic is getting blurrier by the day, and Hermès is stuck right in the middle of the storm. One thing's for sure, this ain't the kind of PR any luxury brand wants to be caught up in. But maybe, just maybe, This is the moment for real craftsmanship to finally step into the spotlight. No smoke, no mirrors, just truth and talent. Whether you're riding with Team It's All About the Craftsmanship or waving the Team We've Been Played flag, one thing's clear. This Birkin scandal has shaken the game and sparked a real convo about what luxury actually means in today's world. Is it about where it's made, how it's made, or is it just about whatever story gets sold the hardest? Because right now, the industry just got slapped with a serious reality check. And let's be real, this convo, it's not wrapping up anytime soon. People are demanding answers, calling out the fakes, and finally questioning what they're really paying for behind those crazy price tags. So tell me, would you still drop thousands on a Hermès bag today, knowing it might have been pieced together in a factory in China, or would you keep your wallet shut tight? Blow up the comments below and then hit that next video for more of the drama.